We'll bring you some guests in just a moment, but let's do another movie review, please.
Okay, so you may have seen the posters for this, or you may have seen the trailers for it. So, Hypnotic. On the FDA list, which is the Film Distributors Association, for weeks, this film was listed as Hypnotic. And we did actually think that it was a film called Hypnotic, and when it turned out it was just called Hypnotic, it was a bit of a disappointment. So it's Robert Rodriguez who's done, Dusk Till Dawn and Planet Terror. So Ben Affleck is Danny Rourke, who is a detective who is haunted by memories of his daughter's abduction. And somebody was caught for it, but they said that they were not guilty due to mental incapacity because they couldn't remember anything about it. Ben's character thinks this is a ruse until he finds himself up against a master criminal who appears to have incredible powers of influence over everyone around him. Next thing you know, he's talking to a psychic, played by Alice Braga, and she then tells him that actually what's going on is much more mysterious than he had imagined due to the power of the mind. Have a listen to a clip.
What makes four total strangers pull off an elaborate bank heist? On a whim.
I'm guessing you're gonna say Lev Del, right? Why don't you tell me who he is? What does he have on these people?
Are you familiar with the concept of hypnotic constructs?
Look, lady, come on. First it's fortune telling, and it's hypnosis.
It's not hypnosis. Hypnotics have abilities far beyond anything we have a name for.
Hypnotics.
People with the ability to actually influence the brain over a psychic bandwidth.
Like telepathy?
Telepaths just read the mind. Hypnotics reshape its reality. The guy at the bank. You said he spoke 4 words to a woman in undressed.
Because she was in on it.
No. Those were cues. Sound, voice, locking eyes. Hypnotics use them to make you see a version of the world that doesn't exist.
Well, that sounded rubbish.
So, brilliant Basil exposition performance. 2 things. Firstly, within that clip, hypnotics have powers long beyond anything we have a word for. You have a word for it, hypnotics. You literally just said it. Other supremely overripe and yet somehow soft-boiled lines include pain can keep the mind awake, useful during a screening. A moment in which Ben Affleck says with a straight face, he erased his own mind? And my own personal favourite, he was already dead, I set him free. Now, the thing is, so what happens is, so it's like somebody went, okay, we'll have a bit of Inception, we'll have a bit of Memento, we'll have a bit of Philip K. Dick, I liked a bit of Total Recall, a little bit of Memento there. Get my son to do a sort of, there's a score which is by Rebel Rodriguez, who is Robert Rodriguez's son, and there are moments in it in which it does a sort of sub-Inception thing, and you know it's doing a sub-Inception thing because the score does a kind of sub-Hans Zimmer honk to tell you that we're trying to do Inception. And it's one of those films when, for a lot of it, it's all lit like a scene from a, Greg Dark straight-to-video erotic thriller. Everything is red lights, green lights, blue lights, red lights, green lights, blue lights. And then suddenly, at one point, there's a plot reveal, and everything goes white. It's like, oh, they've shone a light on this mysterious plot, but it still doesn't make any sense at all. And if you've ever seen, any kind of psychological thriller in which the whole idea is you don't know what's real. You don't know what's real. Maybe everything is happening in the mind. You go, okay, well that's kind of interesting as long as you're sort of fundamentally invested in the central idea about it's not real, it's in the mind. I mean, when we saw Inception together, Inception is an incredibly that conceit, which is everyone falls asleep on a plane and they somehow get inside the dreams of each other. And at one point, one of the characters says, sorry, whose dream are we in now? But it's not stupid, it actually works. Well, in the case of this, it's just stupid. Now, that's not to say it's not fun. It's really good fun to see Ben Affleck do that, I'm going to look sad by closing my eyes and going, and I'm going to look tough by opening my eyes and going, And then at one point he has to say, "You mean I have powers now?" And you go, "No, that was the Batman film." There's an entertaining moment in it in which somebody attempts to pull their own hand off. And then because of the way that it's all, it's power of the mind, they have shootouts which consist of two people staring at each other and then shooting themselves in the foot. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. I mean, the question is, I don't know how funny it's meant to be. But I thought it was very funny. And funnier still that I don't know how. I ended 94 minutes as well, 94 minutes. So absolute tripe. But actually quite fun.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.